Let's actually take that conversation about the detrimental effect Eskom's troubles are having on the mining sector a little further. And joining me now is Henk Langenhoven, who's the chief economist at the Minerals Council of South Africa, to discuss this further. Henk, many thanks for your time. I think a critical question here to ask is that, is the slump we're seeing in the mining sector overall mainly to blame on the power crisis, or are there other factors that have contributed as well?
Afternoon, thank you. No, there are other factors. We have other logistical problems like unavailability of rail and harbour capacity, and of course the unrest in some of the areas. But the availability of electricity is crucial because we use 30% of Eskom's power generated, and we are, to a degree, the baseload customer for them. You can't switch power stations on and off either. So the smelters are the big users, and that are normally the first to be asked to curtail their consumption. And it's a difficult thing because it's not an oven that you can switch down from 140 degrees to 100 degrees. They need the full power, otherwise they can't operate. But what happened yesterday was the day shift went down the day before, did the blasting. The night shift had to go down and clear the ore and bring it up to the surface, and that couldn't happen. So today's day shift tried to clear it, and the night shift will go down. So a great deal of production has been lost.
And one of the critical points here to also note is the increasing cost of power that the mining companies have to pay. And just to pick your brain, have some innovations been come up in the mining sector to perhaps lessen the need for power from Eskom?
Absolutely. The electricity prices, the tariffs have gone up, but over 500% over the last 8 years. But it's testimony to actually saving electricity and be more efficient that we are using exactly the same amount of electricity we used in 2008. So the mines did get much more efficient, but there is a point where you cannot actually save more, and to replace Eskom as the baseload supplier is virtually impossible. And if you had to spend, say, the amount of money that Medupi spent on one unit, that money firstly has to come from somewhere, but the real cost is that the mine can't use that money to expand its production. So it's a much bigger impact than just the immediate situation. So it's virtually impossible for the mines to replace Eskom. What they can do, and that there's been many applications for self-generation, to be more independent for emergency circumstances, but also to have a cushion for when savings have to be made, that the mines can keep on producing. This is still in the pipeline, and a lot of administrative burdens are actually, hurdles are actually preventing this from happening, which we hope will be cleared in a short time.
Many thanks for your time there, Henk Langenhoven, who's the chief economist at the Minerals Council of South Africa.